Taberne Talks, another episode. This is a mega episode coming on here. Let me tell you, I mean, this is like Rocky coming in, of social media, the Rocky of the South Philly business right now, the Rocky of the market is what I have on here. So this guy is what everybody wants to see, right? I've watched his videos. I've seen him on social media. He is really what you want to be in this business right now, on the forefront, seeing the action every day. His name speaks for itself. I speak to a lot of peers in the business. Every person speaks very highly of him. So I think that you're really going to like what you hear here, but you have to listen, right? And you have to watch, because a lot of people say, oh, well, no, you got to watch this show because this is going to be the stuff. Martino Picariello.
You killed that.
I hope I killed it, right?
You did.
All right, good, because I practiced it about 5 times before we went on. So I'm glad we got it.
Yes.
South Philly guy, right? So tell us where you're from, how you got to where you are, and we'll take it from there. So.
Amazing. And first off, that was the best introduction I think I've ever been given in my life. My dad.
I didn't lie either. It wasn't a lie. It was all the truth.
No, I was looking at you the whole time. Your
I know
you didn't blink.
I didn't blink. Right,
No,
and that was not scripted either. That was how I felt.
Oh man.
Right. So I wasn't lying. Right.
First off, I appreciate that more than anything. I appreciate you having me on. This is definitely an opportunity that I like. I really relish. I like to find my stage, and I like to kind of give my feedback. So thank you for having me and giving me this platform.
I love it, man.
And
I'm glad you came. And you've been on many other podcasts, so that caught my eye too.
Yeah.
So,
No, I found that this is the best way to deliver messages. Honestly, when you're in the field, it's easy to get distracted. It's hard to cover a lot of ground. But when you can sit down and focus for an hour on really what you're seeing and talk with another professional in the business, not just another person, a professional. And I could speak highly of you as well from everything I've heard. You've had some colleagues of mine on. We just talked about Marco, Jordan. Shout out Marco. Shout out Jordan.
And shout out Jim.
Yes.
Jim was my second or third guest to start off. I had to have him. Obviously he's the king, right? So
he's the king.
We had to bring him on.
He's the king. Don't get a big head.
And let me
Jim.
tell you something. You got to watch that show. If you haven't seen that episode,
I've seen clips.
He tore it up from beginning to end. And that episode was the morning of the football game that you guys do, the tailgate. It was in October. Shit. It was Sunday morning, and he agreed to do it at Sunday morning before the tailgate.
Right? I know this about Jim. It doesn't surprise me because he likes to time things up when he's in that state.
Right.
Like, I'm sure he was getting himself in that state of mind that whole week for preparing to meet his people, his clients, his colleagues, just industry contacts he's met for a while. So he's like, you know what? While I'm in this mode, in this zone,
he was
I'm going to come on and crush this podcast too. And I just know the way he thinks, and I'm blessed to say that he's given me a lot of, mindset, just tools, mindset tools. Matching things up when you're in that mood, knowing when you're not in the mood, right? Knowing when you're not at your best, not putting important things on the calendar. So I typically load my mornings very heavy just because of that. And I'm happy we got to do this. It's like 11:30. Yeah. This is my peak time.
Good.
I got my coffee kicking in right now.
Good.
So a lot of good things.
I like it.
But we kind of got off.
This guy's jacked up right now. Right? This is what he's basically saying in other words. So
I'm a little monotone right now, but yes, I'm jacked up.
Let's roll. That's it.
But no, my father would be happy. The Rocky of Philly, man. My dad would be crying right now. He's a huge Rocky fan. He thinks he's still a real boxer.
Listen, I mean, you have built a name, right? It's noticed. Reputation is noticed. So that is not easy.
No, thank you.
So give us your background real quick.
Absolutely. We kind of briefly touched on it before we aired, but similar story to you, Alex, where I was born in South Philadelphia, Packer Park. I talk about it a lot on my channel. And then I moved to Voorhees, New Jersey, where a lot of my close friends are from. And I was there from the ages 5 to 14. When I was 14 years old, my parents made a transition back to the city of Philadelphia, and I ended up going to high school eventually at Roman Catholic. Finished my high school career. I was fortunate. I took a gap year. I was a very competitive ice hockey player growing up. So in Voorhees, that's where the Flyer skate zone is.
Right, I know what's that.
Yep. Yeah. Eric Lindros was in our neighborhood. My dad was doing really well at the time. He owns a pizza shop in South Philadelphia.
You say Lindros, it ages me just to say that I was a fan and went to see him.
Glory days, man.
That was awesome. Glory. He was great.
Best hockey, I think, of all time.
No doubt.
Electric. He was a definition of a Flyer. And if anyone has watched hockey, you know it. Eric Lindros was the man.
Yep.
But point being, my dad was a huge hockey fan, so we moved to Voorhees because he knew the skate zone was there. He played street hockey growing up, so he got me into it at a really young age, and I'm so happy he did because it gave me that competitive mindset, not only the competitive mindset, but the teamwork mindset. Like teamwork makes the dream work in hockey. You can't have a individual effort and expect to win. So I think that relates so well to what I'm doing now in this business, and talk about teamwork. Couldn't be here without you.
Right.
And I appreciate every opportunity that I get because of that. And so hockey taught me a lot. I was very fortunate to go play Division III, which is a really competitive level, got a decent scholarship. It was a academic scholarship though, because it's Division III.
Right. I understand.
Shout out Stevenson.
Yeah.
And met some amazing people there, which is why I think people go to college at this point. I'm a real estate agent.
Mhm.
We didn't need an education in business or anything like that.
No,
But
don't.
I
Not
went
nowadays, no.
No, you don't, man. It's great. Honestly, I don't think you need to be in student debt anymore. And back in the day, it might have been more of a priority, but point being, made some great connections, which is the purpose of college, I feel. And to this day, I'm still very close with my my roommates, my classmates. I still reach out. They reach out. They see my content now. They're like, dude, what's happened since school?
Right?
You used to be the hockey
True.
guy.
Yeah.
And now I'm
very good on video.
I appreciate
but we'll get
it.
to that.
Yeah.
That's social media is huge with this guy. I mean, if you haven't seen his Instagram or TikToks or whatever, he's all over the place on social media. So you really have to check his stuff out. He's really giving information that I think that people, he's got a little bit of a different message. He's not trying to sell you. He's not trying to say you need to buy a house. He's more informational, more educational, which is what people want.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
appreciate that.
So the almighty question, right? We want to get to. We want to go right for your throat, right? Because we want. This is what we want here, right? This is why we brought this guy on, because this market right now is not an easy market. Okay, I'm allowed to say that because I've seen a lot of markets in my career, and this is one that I bring a lot of realtors on to get their feedback of what they think is going on in this market. But you stay motivated in this market, and it seems like you are you're a young guy, and you just continue to attack, right? Your numbers were, what did you do this year again, or over the past year?
2023, I was 33 units.
33 units for 2023, averaging almost 2 units. A month, right? So
correct,
close to it.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm not over here trying to sell people on houses. I'm a consultant,
right?
So I was fortunate that 8 units were from one client. Another client bought 5 units, and then of course you have your first time home buyers that are just kind of picking up deals.
Yeah.
That's kind of my business, and I'm super proud to have built that business. And I love this industry because you can create whatever business you want. I didn't want a transactional business. I never have, never will. I've always wanted a relationship focused business. So that was why I think I thrived in 2023, when only 49% of agents sold 1 or less homes.
Which is a huge stat.
Yeah, it is.
49%. It's 50% basically.
I was going to say, let that sit in for a little bit.
That really is crushing to hear that, right?
Well, I'm not even to build, obviously I'm very, very proud of what I did last year. And I really wouldn't be probably continuing in the business if I didn't feel like I had such success, to be honest with you, because I did grind my butt off. And I was
sure.
like, I was almost, I would have been surprised if it was anything less than 30. I was shooting for 60, to be honest with you. And that kind of maybe keeps, I think you have a question in there.
Yeah.
Right. I want to do 60 units a year. I think that's very attainable. I see so many of my mentors doing it. So it's like, and I think that's another big piece of the business, is having people around you that are doing high level activities, because it's just almost natural when you see Kobe in the gym doing what he's doing. You're naturally going to do what he's doing. So I'm with a lot of Kobe Bryants. I'm with a lot of Michael Jordans in my office, Jim Roach included.
So would you say that's what motivates you?
I would say that's what keeps me motivated, because I'm not results focused. I'm completely process focused. I never focus on getting the deal done. I'm always focused on making my calls in the morning, making sure I'm consulting people effectively, and listening to them. If I'm doing those 3 things, consistency, calling, listening, solving problems, I know the results are going to come. Okay. So that's what keeps me motivated, is that process focus.
And what do you think sets you apart from the other Michael Jordans in your office? And why am I going to go to you? And listen,
it's a fair question,
right? It's a good question, because I think with you guys coming up with this new settlement, right? You're going to have to show some value, I think, right, on what we do or what you do. I'm not a realtor, so. Loan officers have their own.
You dodged the bullet, man.
We have other problems, believe me.
You guys gotta figure.
In another. Yeah, we've been through a lot ourselves.
We're gonna need to work together through this. Is my answer to that.
We've been there. So, but this is your time, and I think you really have to set yourself apart coming up with this new settlement. So what do you think you got a lot of big shots in your office. You do. You got a lot of big shots in KW period. I mean, you go over to McCann team and you got some big shots over there. Obviously you go to your office on Broad and there's some big shots in there. So what do you think separates you from them?
Honestly, the ability or the willingness to collaborate with those big guys.
Okay.
I'm not going to be like, this is my client. I'm going to say, hey, you have access to all these people behind me. This is why I partnered up with them. I'm not afraid of them. I'm actually, I can't wait to work with them. And I want to bring people to them. And I learned so much through them. And Nick Gigante's a huge mentor of mine. Please shout out Nick.
There you go.
I hope we get a clip of Nick.
Nick, yeah.
Because Nick truly treats everyone like a family. He's a family man. He's from Brooklyn, grew up on a block, lived on a block where it was very family oriented. So whenever people come into the office, like he's truly like, I'm ready to introduce them to Nick. At least at the first 2 years, I'd say, mainly sellers. Buyers, I could always, make a great first impression with. I was in leasing prior to sales. So I was very good with face-to-face with people looking for homes, whether it was for lease or for purchase. It's very similar.
Good.
The main differences are you actually have to know what is in the home. So when I'm walking buyers through, I'm pointing out the HVAC, I'm pointing out the mechanics of the property.
You do your homework.
The structure, correct. Right. But what if I'm with tenants? What do you think of these fixtures? What do you think of the lights?
Right.
So it's a completely different, approach. But I was very good with that. But sellers, I was like, Nick, I need your expertise. So point being, what separates me is the access I have to these incredible relationships, like very close relationships. So I think
you feel like being on
open.
Roach's team and being in KW there is getting you even better connections just being with that type of organization.
100%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's great. I mean, that's, and you can't see that from a lot of realtors. A lot of realtors they don't pump up their offices as much as they should, right? So
I don't understand that. Yeah. I mean, that is the reason I partnered up with them is I think access is what people truly desire. They want access. They want exclusivity, which is what my office provides. So I partnered up with the best because I want to collaborate with the best. I didn't partner up with them to, compete against them, to answer that question.
Yeah. You're killing it right now, right? So those numbers that you told me are ridiculous. And you've been in the business how long?
This is my third, going into my fourth year.
Man, oh man. I wish I was on my fourth year. That's that's exciting, right? Those are exciting times, right? So you're like building a business. You're like, you're not like, oh, well, this is bad because, I really was through really, really good times and 10 years ago now. Like you didn't feel that, right? So, so to you, it's still new kind of.
Correct.
And you're building.
This is normal.
Right.
Yes. This is normal.
It's normal.
Yeah. Find the pain points, attack them. Do not shy away from uncomfortable conversations because we all know people do. That's what I'm effective at. And I think when the tide rises, it's going to be a lot of fun, So this is just, you find out who's swimming naked when the tide goes out, right? So a lot of people have been caught swimming naked these past 4 or 5 years, opening doors, getting away with it. And I'm super excited for this NAR settlement. Basically, for people that don't know, the NAR, the National Association of Realtors, they were sued $5 billion with a B for commissions. And I think this is, it's a great thing that happened to the industry in a lot of ways. And this is kind of my breakdown, Alex, if you give me 1 minute here.
Please. I'd rather hear this because I think it's on everybody's mind right now.
It is. That's
all everybody's talking about.
Huge question mark.
Right.
And this is a great stage to share this, I think, for a lot of people. But
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. What is being changed? The what is not being changed, the how is being changed on how we pay buyers agents. So it's always been negotiable commissions. However, there's been a standard in the industry. In some states, it's different. It's higher. In some states, it might be, I think 5 is the base, but commissions on a home, 5% to 7% typically, depending on how high level service you want. You want staging, all this good stuff. You want crazy open houses, you're going to pay a premium, but that typically brings in a lot of buyers. And when you have a lot of attention on a listing, you're going to get a high sales price. When you have a lot of attention and a lot of eyes, you're going to get a high sales price. If only 10% of people in the world are seeing your listing, chances are you're missing 90% of buyers out there, right?
Sure.
So that's why the commission's always been a great thing. However, there's some people in Minnesota 5 years ago who said, why am I paying both sides? And it's fair, but the reason you're paying both sides is to bring people in.
You're paying for a service.
Correct. Yeah. To bring people into your home. And those buyers agents do provide a pretty valuable service.
Sure.
I think in 2019, 2020, and 2021, because interest rates were so low, you couldn't have sold a house easier. It didn't require any skill. Exactly. You'd open a door and that was it. You were done. Right. See ya. All right. Here, I'm going to send you the contract. And
who isn't going to want to take a 2% interest rate, right?
Exactly.
Or 2%, right?
You don't have to sell anything at that point.
Right.
Not sell, but consult. I like to use that word instead.
Yeah.
Train, coach, and consult your clients. You don't have to, because they already know they want to do it. So now, the market's gotten a little thicker with 7% interest rates, 6.5, I think, maybe on like a good week. And we're having fluctuations. And I always say, keep an eye on that stuff if you're actively buying. You know?
Yeah.
So you know when to lock. And that's why people like you are incredible at what you do.
Yeah.
And we need you. We need experts in the mortgage industry, because I've met so many mortgage lenders who are like, yeah, just lock in now. You should be good.
Clueless.
I think it's clueless, brother. Clueless.
Unfortunately.
But just they
give us a bad name.
They do. And same with realtors, brother. Same with realtors.
I know. They give you a bad name too.
So this is why I'm excited. Yeah. They're going to be gone. They're going to be out of here. Those door openers, they cannot provide value. Unfortunately, actually, I think it's a great thing, because for the consumer, do you want to work with someone who's just a door opener, or do you want to work with someone who's actually doing business, consulting you, coaching you, and training you in the best possible way, getting you the best possible value on both sides of the transaction? Sellers need to net as much in the least amount of times in most cases. Sometimes they're in no rush, but I think even then, days on market's important. You want to have a little to no days on market and drive up interest, because people like exclusivity, people like access. And if they feel like they're losing access, they're going to bid over asking.
Right.
So pricing your property well, I think is super important. And then on the buy side, getting them the best possible deal, whether that's cash out of pocket, they want as little as possible, or if they just want their monthly payments to be in a certain range. Whatever that value is, you need to consult them, coach them, and train them. And it depends on everyone's situation. There's no silver bullet for everybody. That's why consultations up front, sellers and buyer consultations, are imperative. You cannot start the process if you have not sat down and actually gone over what's in your account, what locations you're looking in, and how much you're really willing to spend in that account. And guess what? People, I used to waste my time, but a lot of people waste their times and go out and show houses in for 3-4 months. This person wasn't even qualified. I've actually had that happen in my first 2 years.
I know.
So
I know it. Sure.
Point being, I think this is such a great turn for the industry. We're going to actually have buyer's agents who are showing value. And honestly, what I think is going to happen here is it's going to be negotiated with the seller either way. Just like in Jersey, you guys have both commissions stated on paper on the contract, right?
Up front.
Right. And I think, hey, if I'm going to give you $700,000, I need you to cover my buyer's agent commission. But if I'm giving you $685,000, I'll pay my buyer's agent out of my own pocket.
Yeah.
It's all going to work out in the wash. I think anyone who knows real estate's or purchased real estate's going to see that. So I don't think much is going to change, but how it's done is going to change, which is super exciting. And I hope agents are scared and they leave, to be completely honest with you. So there's more market share for me.
Did I not say this guy was coming on with the fire? I mean, this place is on fire right now. We have to turn the air conditioner on because the place is cooking, and we just started.
It's crazy.
This guy does his homework. Right. This guy speaks like he knows what he's doing.
I appreciate Alex, but this is how I always am. And I don't even notice it, to be honest.
I mean, you can see the passion here, man. You are really on it. The only other guy that I can think off the top of my head over the last 25 almost that we've had on is Radaron. Shout out to Radaron, who was Rookie of the Year for KW in his office. I brought him on, and the guy just ripped it up like you. I feel the same fire. Yeah,
and I was going to say, he got Rookie of the Year, I think, and thanks to you partially for giving him that exposure.
He came on smoking. Same
not to
thing
take anything away, obviously, he's a fantastic agent. Shout out my boy Ron. He's in my office. Cooking up or knocking out deals, right? I love his slogan. I love his mentality. He's such a fighter.
He seems like you and him have that same type of, he came out, he told me like it was, like you're telling me like it is. You already know the game plan. He puts his blinders on like you do, and just execute.
Yes, execute.
Right?
Focus on that process.
Which is huge. So you think there'll be a mass influx of realtors leaving?
Correct.
All right, good. I mean, he may be hated for saying that right now, but he's telling the truth.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Absolutely.
I think so too. I think loan officers may follow suit too, because if the realtors leave, then the loan officers can't survive either, right? So, but that might be good too, because not to say that I don't like other loan officers, right? Because I'm friends with a lot of them, but you gotta show your value too, right? And you have to be professional, and you got to know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing coming up in this market, you're not going to survive.
Correct.
Right.
Well said.
So that's good stuff.
Correct.
So now I really, I'm shaking here, man. This is like,
I am sweating.
I am. I mean, this is crazy, right? So we're going to keep rolling. We'll try to mellow it down a little bit because we know where he came from. you are what, primarily in the Philly market, or where are you fighting these wars? Is it just, or are you going to the outside too?
Yeah, no, I think I'd say like I'm in a 35, 45-minute radius of the city, but mainly in the city. I try to stay like within Lehigh to all the way to Packer Park. You know,
Okay.
Lehigh is kind of my north border, but I think 9 of my transactions last year were in West Oak Lane, only North Philadelphia, because
Okay.
the investments made more sense up there. People are looking for cash flow. The person I was working with was looking for cash flow more so, not really great appreciation. So there's great markets in Philadelphia that'll service anywhere. And right now, what I'm actively doing is just trying to build a team. So
Are you?
yeah, not like a crazy team like Jim, but a team underneath, which Jim's allowed us all to do with the back end support. But I brought a few new agents in this year, not like brought them in, but Jenna's a great Jersey agent, so I want to be able to service Jersey. I'll refer everyone to Jenna.
Okay.
She's an incredible agent. Just
Awesome.
sold like a $1.5 million house down at the Jersey Shore.
Wow.
Shout out Jenna.
Jenna, we may need to have you on.
We may need to have you
know.
on, Jenna. So
You know,
she just joined the team. She's crushing it. She's
Okay.
helping me service a Jersey client.
Awesome.
I'm trying to build someone who was willing to kind of take on those North Philly showings for me. Marissa, she's a great agent as well.
Okay.
And I really want to primarily focus on Packer Park, Point Breeze,
Right.
East Passyunk. So I really
Good
want to
neighborhoods.
find my niche exactly. And I still want to service those clients and build a team underneath me. So that way they're succeeding, they're growing. I truly do love giving back to new agents. I
Tell
find
me what's
such
going
joy.
on over there. You guys switched the name to, is it Rarity or Rarity? Or I don't know, even know if I'm saying it right.
No, this
Yeah.
is breaking news too.
It is breaking news. I saw it. I mean, it saw a
Yeah.
big party that they had. And, for Jim to change his name of his team, which he's had for a long time, his success was built off of that name, obviously. Why?
It's a great question. And simple answer is scalability of his brand.
Okay.
We can't bring Jim Roach into Florida market. We can't bring Jim Roach maybe into a Denver market. We can't bring Jim Roach into Boston. We can bring Rarity real estate though, I think globally.
Okay.
And or not maybe maybe
basically it's for
globally.
expanding.
Out of Jim, I don't think small, right? But exactly for
Right.
expansion, we want to make sure people aren't like, what the hell is this Jim Roach, right?
Yeah.
Rarity real estate, talk about exclusivity, talk about asset access.
I like the
and-
name.
Yeah, me too. It
catchy.
feels really good. So that's our residential side. And then Nick Gigante,
I saw that too, the commercial side. I guess,
correct.
right? Yep.
And we used to be the Hunters team, and I can dive into that maybe a little bit, but the Hunters real estate team was mainly focused on multifamily, mixed use, sourcing deals, basically the commercial side of the business. And we brought that back. And Nick is an absolute leader. He's getting his own division now, and he deserves it, well deserved. And we can finally
That's awesome.
separate the two, because I had some issues because I'm a big commercial agent as well. I'll do like mixed use storefronts with 2 units above, or like my bread and butter.
Nice.
My first 2 listings in the business were those. I had a hair salon, 2 hair salons, and a dentist office. Like those are my first couple listings. So
Are they cash deals that are coming through there? People buying these properties? Is it usually cash? Or?
well, this is back in 21 when the rates were
Okay,
22.
okay,
Yeah.
so a little different.
Those were great assets to start listing, I thought. And yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anyway, I found this like weird kind of hole when we were at the Jim Roach team, and we addressed it immediately. I was like, people still think I'm like a residential, not residential, but like the Hunters was kind of a brand that was known for that. And, Jim Roach was more of like the premier luxury, boutique in Grad Hospital and, Old City, we were very big in Fishtown. Now it's like, all right, we're distinctive. We know what's what. And I'm really happy that we got to separate it. So I identify as one of the Hunters, but if I have a residential listing, it's under Rarity, and I can keep it under that umbrella, which is really great for scalability.
So it's a good thing.
Oh, it's great.
For you guys, it gives you your own identity kind of too now,
Yes.
right? As far as, not to say that not going under Jim Roach's name is not a good thing too, but kind of for the solo agents, it may give them more of an identity just being under their own thing.
Absolutely. And it is hard to find your identity when you're kind of like in that space of
That's what I
mixed
mean.
use, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm really trying to find my niche in developments right now, sourcing land deals, and then the commercial mixed use market, which is super niche. Not a lot of people know how to underwrite those deals. And I always provide value. I feel like on my Instagram, DM me for any kind of underwriting tools that you think you might need as an investor. I'm happy to have you in our office, and we can run down those numbers too. And like I said, consult.
So take me through a day of what happens with Martino when he wakes up in the morning, and you know what I mean? Like, what happens? Is he as juiced up as he is right now? Is it all day and then you hit a brick wall, or like, give an idea of what an agent should be doing all day, and like yourself, and what do you do?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Am I juiced up like this?
Yeah.
To be honest, yes.
Probably true.
Yeah.
I knew the answer.
Dude,
I just was checking you.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
When you feel like you live in a friendly environment like I do, I truly feel like everyone around me is looking to help me and looking to make a difference in my life. That's
Sure.
how I view the world. I truly do. So it's hard for me to have a really bad day when you have that perspective.
Is it morning to night for you? Is it like literally from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm eat, breathe, sleep, real estate all the way through? Like, are you one of those types of guys?
It's not real estate for me. No, but that's a great question. I think
Yeah.
that's real
because
bit.
a lot of agents try to. That's what they marry themselves. They're 24/7, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
Yeah. And I've had those, like in my first year, I had those kind of thoughts, like where I was nonstop. You know, my girlfriend, she'd like hear
You love
me.
that, I know. I'm
Dude,
sure.
my girlfriend would hear me like mumbling in my sleep.
No, I
like,
know.
No,
I know.
don't terminate.
Yeah.
Don't terminate. Like I would be having nightmares, man.
It's fun stuff.
It
Sure.
is. Nowadays, like my focus is finding my people, like finding my clients. Like I'm client focused. I'm not real estate focused. I'm always like, I should have said that to that person and built that relationship. I should have heard them when they said that. I should have maybe acknowledged what they said more. That's really what keeps me up at night more than like, oh, that deal's so perfect. You know, it's the people that I want to service. And I made that shift about a year ago. But my day, just to answer the question,
Yeah, please.
wake up at 6:15, go for a run. It's the first thing I do. I put 2 feet on the ground.
Good.
I do 75 push-ups. At least I try to. That's like my number I want to hit. 75 consistently with breathing.
Okay.
And that pumps endorphins into your body. Like ask any doctor. It's a fact. You can put drugs into your body just by moving your body a certain way.
You do that every day?
Every day.
Every day.
75
Okay.
push-ups, or I try to hit that number. Sometimes it's 60 and I'm like, come on, Martino,
Right.
you can do better than that.
Yep.
Then I go for my run. I go to the park. That's about 6 blocks away from my house. So I'll run 6 blocks. I listen to the same song. That's just about like, you know, sweat on your skin, you know, just kind of like getting after it. Eye of the Tiger I'll listen to
Sure.
regularly, right? That's why when
I
you said
called him
Rocky,
Rocky. I mean, that's
I
it.
manifested that this morning.
He is the Rocky of real estate right now. So we weren't
man.
lying. And he even listens to the Eye of the Tiger.
Right.
Which, you know, come on. You
Dude,
know,
listen to rock in the morning.
it's great.
Don't listen to Future and Drake. It's just negative music when you get down to the core of it. Rock and roll is so pure and genuine.
I listened to No Easy Way Out, you know, from Rocky IV. You know,
yes.
I mean, that's one of my favorites to work out to.
Running the mountain in the
it's
snow.
great, it's great, you know,
My
come
dad was showing me that when I was like 8 years old. He's like, this is what you got to do to be successful.
Sure, he's from South Philly, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that was pumped into your head there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know.
He was born in on Alder Street, 2400 block of Alder Street. So
Okay.
and he's in a 3-bedroom with four or five siblings. So, you know, very tough dude. But anyway.
Okay, so you go for
That's
your
my
run, you
morning.
get back, yeah?
Yeah, that's my morning routine is getting that run, coming back. I'm going to start doing the cold plunge. My girlfriend got it for me for Christmas, but it's been tough to start doing in this small South Philly yard that I have. So I'm going to try to do a cold plunge, dip in, get out. And then
You do that every day.
every day. So by the time I'm out of the door, it's 7:00
Okay.
because it's like, you know, the push-ups are quick, this. And then I do say a prayer in the morning. And I also think about what I want to accomplish. Those are the two things I think mentally. So physically, I'm moving my body. Mentally, I'm thinking about what I want to accomplish. And then I'm in the office I'm leaving my house by 7. I'm in the office by 7:30
So you're an office guy every day.
every day.
There's no working from home.
Very, very little. I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
really
fine.
don't. It's lonely.
It is lonely. It is extremely lonely. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about because as loan officers, a lot of us, most of us
I was
actually are
gonna
working
say,
from home.
Are
know?
you seeing
So,
anyone in your office? Or where's your office located?
We were at Broad and Lombard.
Oh, wow. Good spot.
So we were there for about 3 years. We just recently closed down about a year and a half ago because
Okay.
of crime issues and not the best spot.
We could dive into that too.
I mean, right. So
Yeah,
I'm sure you know.
yeah.
So now we're all home,
Mhm.
and it's not a happy time being home, as you see.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's lonely, like you said, and it's listen, some days are better than others. Some days you just come motivated and you just block out everything, you do your work, and some days you wish you were back in an office with seeing people like you see every day and getting into the front line and just bouncing ideas off of people. You know?
Bingo.
So
That's the biggest thing for me.
so it's good that you go in the office.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people in your office go in the office because when I came in there a few times, it's like I feel like I'm on Wall Street in there. Like it's
Yep, you got the bullpen.
it's like you're walking into like a boiler room. Like there's like 20 people on the phone. They're banging the phones. They're ringing. People are texting and emailing. There's meetings going on. I mean, this is like hustling and bustling. I feel like I'm in Manhattan. that it's coming out of, right. You don't see that
Mhm.
in most of these real estate offices and loan officer or mortgage banking offices. No one's in, even though they can come in.
Right.
They still don't go in.
No,
So-
Jim harps on it a lot.
You know,
Because
that's big.
I agree. And you hit the nail on the head. I do wish it was every day like that, but I would say, maybe eight days out of or 8 times out of 10, you'll come into that office and that
it's
atmosphere.
hustling and bustling.
Correct. But yesterday, Nick Gigante took a video actually of no one being in the office, right?
Friday.
And posted in the group chat, where the hell is everybody?
Friday,
and he gets on you. He's a coach, I think that's what you need in this business too, is someone who's on you, accountability partners and people. And people that aren't going to just soften it up and be like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry. It's a holiday weekend coming up. No, get your ass over here. What are we doing here?
What are you doing? Can they be trusted not to come in and work from home? Or
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's funny. Our top producers, I think, they work from home a lot because they feel like they can't make cold calls in that kind of office environment. They want to, because I think the best cold callers are listening.
Yeah.
You're listening if you're a good cold caller. Like, I think that needs to sit in for a lot of people in the entrepreneurial space and any kind of business.
Yeah.
If you're making outbound prospecting phone calls and not listening to the people on the other end of your line with true intent, you're just not going to make any money in this business or any other business. So finding the pain points only comes with that listening. And the best agents in our office, they'll cold call maybe from 9 to 12 at their home office. And then they're coming in the office in the afternoon to kind of pitch ideas.
Right.
Hey, I talked to 3 guys this morning. They have 1, 2, and 3 on 123 Main Street. Yeah, any ideas of who would pick these up? Nick comes at his office. It was on Main Street, you said? And then, shit, I have 2 guys for that.
Bouncing off of each other.
Boom. One of my biggest deals this year came from Phil Maisano. Shout out Philly Millie.
I know Phil.
Phil is a beast.
Phil's a great guy.
In the Air Force for 6 years.
Yes, really
Came to real
guy.
estate. Talk about a mindset, right?
Yep.
He's just like, yo, dude, I found this awesome, 3-piece of land and we went under contract with it. We actually competed, but he doesn't care. Cause like I said, we talk about collaboration in our office. We both put offers in. His offer was at 800,000. My guy escalated up to 9 and we got the deal. Actually, there was offers higher, but they respected my professionalism. They respected my client's experience.
Yeah.
There was a great deal there, but point being, that doesn't happen if you're not in an office environment. And I attest a lot to the Jim Roach office and the culture he's built there.
Yeah, you got the ISAs banging their phones back there to Gio and then the other Mazzano. They're two clubbers over there. I know what's going on. I mean, I've walked back there too, and they were just names and names of people that they're just boom, boom.
It's the best.
Yeah, this is a machine back here.
It really is. Dude, they are churning and burning. They are the train that never stops. They're in the office every morning. They're the reason I just try to beat them to the office. They're my competition. You try to beat Marco to the gym.
Yeah.
That's my gym. That's my gym. I'm like, I got to be the first one in this office today.
Right.
And if I'm serious, if I'm not, man, when you can do that stuff and really test yourself and challenge yourself, because if you don't challenge yourself, challenges are going to find you. I truly believe that. You're not going to find that competitive edge on the phones or that certainty when you're delivering your value.
See, he's got no time to complain. Here's the problem in this business right now is everyone's complaining. Everyone is complaining about everything, right? From morning to night, they're just complaining that this is bad and that's bad and this sucks and that sucks and this business stinks and this is all what you build yourself up to, and then you get yourself in a rut, right? And that's what you do every day then, and you can't get out of it, and your business suffers, your personal life suffers, your relationships suffer, or you go in with an open mindset and you just rock, right? You just say, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to do my thing today. This is my set plan. If the business might be bad, but I don't care because I'm going to try to because there's people, and I say this every week, that are always going to buy a house. People will always buy houses. That's why I got into this business 20 years ago, because my mother was in the title business. She was a title rep, and she had introduced me to real estate. That's
amazing,
right? So, and she had, when she found out I was becoming a loan officer 25 years ago, she said, "Listen, you'll always be busy because people will always need to buy a house. Period.
Yeah.
No matter what the market is."
What are the 3 main necessities? Food, water, shelter?
Right. You got to buy a house. No matter what the rate is, no matter what the market is, they're always going to buy. And look, here we are. They're still buying, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're having a great year. So you see them buying. What's going to happen the rest of the year? I mean, are we going to come out of this? I know you guys have meetings and meetings and meetings over there about the future of what's happening. And what we're going to have a good third, fourth quarter coming from your feeling or your, advice of what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a really good question.
And again, this is your point of view.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I always like to start off, with the classic, no one has a crystal ball
thing.
Right.
So this is your point of view.
Right. I mean, to be honest with you, This is one of the most uncertain times I think we've seen in the country, honestly, with AI technology. The presidents are both goofs. I think we all can agree we want better candidates. I think inflation's higher than it's been in the past. We're in an incredible debt trouble. So point being is like, people always say, look at patterns and it'll tell you the future. I think if we're in anything, we're in the 1980s. Would you agree with that, Alex?
I could see that.
I'm a 97 baby.
Yeah.
So for me to call out the 80s is tough because I wasn't there.
Well, Reagan was the president in the 80s, right? He was the president of the 80s. I mean, he was, he ran the country very well, I think, at that time. And you had real presidents back then that ran the country and people respected them. Boom. And there was no craziness of what we have now.
You hit the nail on the head. People respected them.
Right.
No matter who they were.
It didn't matter.
Right now, there's no respect
at all.
And look at me. I'm over here saying we need to respect, but we can't with what we see. Like how can you? But Reagan, you could respect him.
Sure.
So we need more respectable people in place because everyone else will fall in line. Those are our leaders, right? Look at any leader in your household. If the best leader is doing amazing things, your kids are going to have no problems. They're going to be led. But if the leader of your house is struggling, then everyone else is going to struggle. And it's just as simple as that. And then at a bigger scale, your country's going to struggle if we don't have leaders. So to predict the future, I think right now is madness. It has to make sense for you. But I think, is it going to be a good Q3 and Q4 for our team? Absolutely, because we are in that process. We are finding pain points. People are still needing to sell because of estate sales. People need to sell because tax reasons. People need to sell because they can't refinance their deal. They're going to have to put in an injection of equity and they just can't. That's what we're focused on. We're not focused on anyone else. We're not focused on your average Joe who, if you ask me, has no reason to move right now. No place to go if they want to move. So I think the main topic that I always like to talk about really is just the supply issue that we're seeing. No one wanting to move, no one wanting to sell in certain pockets.
Oh, yeah.
And in Philly, it's a similar thing. Even though you see higher inventory, higher days on market, the inventory is shit. To be completely blunt, it's bad inventory. People are getting rid of the stuff that's been giving them headaches for years.
It's
all
Philly. Junk on the market.
It's junk on the market.
Right.
And
that's why half of my deals are dying from home inspections.
Boom.
And I'm getting annoyed.
Boom.
Because you put in 5 deals and 4 of them die because of home inspection.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
And it's trash that's on the market that these sellers just throw up, and the agent just says, well, I got a listing, I don't care. And then you go to the inspection, it kills the deal.
Exactly. And no one wants to spend time doing that. If you've done that enough, and I'm fortunate to have done 33, and guess what? I think I had 50 under contract, right? 20 fall apart. So you just got to keep consistent in your process and really stay true to your seller. Hey, if we want to sell this with no inspections, we're going to have to price it accordingly. Yeah. And people aren't willing to do that in Philadelphia right now. We're still seeing that gap. It's getting tighter. People are starting to open up. I'm having really hard conversations with sellers who are like, I can't get 600 anymore. No, interest rates have doubled.
Right.
And people are scared of the city for the most part if they're not familiar with it.
Right.
But there's investors out there that would buy it at X price tomorrow, and it's still a good price. It's just not what they were anchored into believing it was back in 21 and 22.
Let's touch on the crime.
Yeah.
In the city. Is that a huge problem still with what you guys are seeing as loan officers? We're just doing our deals. It's the realtor that brings us the business, right? So we rely on you guys to partner with you to make sure that any clients that you give us, we got to get to closing, right? I mean, that's our job. So, but you see more of that front line of really what is it, the crime that's still the major issue right now?
Yes, and cleanliness too. I'd say crime and cleanliness. The streets are filthy.
Dirty. Well, she announced she's going to clean every street. Yeah. The mayor said she's going to clean every single street. Yeah. It's going to take 3 months, but she wants to clean every single street in the city.
Hot take here. I think we have someone at the reins right now who's actually taking action.
I can't believe it.
I'm fired up. Hey, and you know what? We'll see in 6 months and 12 months, and hopefully that's kind of when we'll start seeing something moving.
Yeah.
I don't like to listen to talk. I don't think anyone does. We want to see actual results. But right now, I love her process at the very least, which I said this at the beginning of the pod. Process focused. She's process focused. She's doing the little things. She's catching the killers. She's catching the shooters. She's going to Kensington. She's doing the hard stuff.
Yeah.
So
she's even giving tickets to people who have tinted windows that are parked on the side of the road because they have tinted windows.
Hey,
did you know that they're giving out tickets?
I actually did not know that. That's wild.
Anybody who has tinted windows that are darker than what the state limit is, she wants them to automatically get a ticket, even if they're just parked in front of their house and sleeping. Okay.
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, I didn't know that.
Right. So,
I think that might be might be a little crazy, but hey,
that's what's going on.
Doing the right things. I actually, you know what?
Um,
It does. I'm in Point Breeze. I'm on 20th and Dickinson. There's shootings. I'd say like maybe once or twice every quarter, maybe, so every 4 or 5 months you're hearing of something going up, cops around your block, but you keep to yourself. There's a lot of great people, man. My block is amazing. We have such good people that have been there for 50.
The media does it, man. The media. Yeah,
And dude, being in it, boots on the ground, I can honestly say, truthfully, in a neighborhood that, I mean, it's definitely being gentrified, but in a neighborhood that's still known as like a Section 8 neighborhood or a affordable housing neighborhood, we have such great people. I love my neighbors. I love the small businesses that I go to. Signet Soul Foods, a food truck on Dickinson Street. Shout out Signet. Like, there's some great, I walk up to that truck and people are talking for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's like, it's just an amazing culture, I think. And it's unfortunate that the 5% of shitheads get highlighted above all these people that are amazing,
right.
I
mean, the media just talks about the bad stuff, right? They don't talk too much about the good stuff. And that hurts, I think, the business that we're in, unfortunately, because people see that and they say, oh, I'm not going to come into Philly. Like, listen, all the time I talk to clients and where do you live? I live in Philly. Oh,
I know. Weird. Like, what part of Philly? It's a city of neighborhoods, and
I live in South Philly. Oh, South Philly, I think, is bad too, isn't it?
Isn't it? They always say, I heard. Isn't it?
I think it is.
I went to an Eagles game and I saw a homeless guy at the SEPTA, and that just scared the shit out of me.
Like you come out of your house and you're getting shot at?
No.
I'm not coming out of my house getting shot at.
No.
All right. I'm going to my car normally. I'm going to work and nothing's going on.
Yeah.
Like I said.
And guess what? In the suburbs, the same stuff happens, but people can hide it better. People are still smoking weed, but they're doing it in their yard. People are still drinking, but they're doing it in their yard. Sure. People in the city just have to do it on the sidewalk because they don't have a big fancy yard they can't afford.
Different the media.
Exactly. So I think be educated by a professional. That's all I'll say. Be educated, see it for yourself. Do not listen to the media. And there's a great song it's called If Good News Sold. And just imagine if good news was actually what was being sold out there.
Oh man.
It
would be rolling right now.
Right.
I mean, it would be a much better feeling here.
Amazing. Like, imagine someone beating stage 4 cancer being shown on the news, right? You'd wake up and smile and be like, thank God for my life. But you don't see that stuff. And my mom was actually someone who beat stage 4 cancer. So I think at that point in my life, and thank you. Very lucky, like so blessed. And I think stuff like that needs to happen in your life. And you need to realize how lucky we really are. And the city of Philadelphia is an amazing place. It truly is. I find such beauty in it. You can absolutely find the ugliness if you look hard enough for it.
That's great. I mean, this guy's, like I said, he's a ray of positivity, right? I mean, that's what you got to be. I mean, if you're negative, like I said, then you're going to feel the negativity. And if you're positive, like he is, you just go about your day and do your thing.
Absolutely. And there's days, we all have those days, but you got to snap out of them quickly and snap back into it. So
I want to touch on your social media because I think that's the biggest thing that brought you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your social media is just exploding. Your videos, your educational content. I mean, I've had guys with me through my career and we're still trying to find out that magic bullet of how to get the right, the right social media content and the video at the right time and what time to post it and when to post it and when to boost it. And, I push it all to those guys. I'm getting too old for that. Right. So I just want to work with people and do what I do best, but that's a big part of the business now, right? That if you don't have social media, I think you're not going to survive either. So, and a lot of these agents don't, and a lot of loan officers don't. So what do you do? You say to yourself, I got to do 5 posts a week, 5 videos a week. What's the success that someone needs to have to do that?
Absolutely. To be honest, it's, I think you found such a magic bullet with podcast. And I think this is such a very scalable thing. So for me, it's all about consistency. Like you said, it's like, when do we post this? What kind of content? Just keep posting. Keep posting. And there's a book called Traction that talks about, you're not going to see results for a while. But once again, you focus on that process of like, so for me, I mean, my process would probably be, get into a podcast maybe once a month and you get 10 or so clips from that. But now I'm actually at a point where I have so many people that I really want to bring into my own world. So I'm actually starting my first podcast, Real Talk with the Hunters, co-hosted by Nick Gigante. And this is just going to be all real talk. Like, and it's not just about real estate. We call ourselves the hunters because we're moving. We're on the go. We're not sitting back waiting for our phone to ring.
Hustlers.
Right. It might as well be hustlers.
It should be hustlers.
Yeah.
I like that.
Real talk with the hustlers. Maybe, Nick, maybe we should think about changing
there you
the
go,
name.
man.
That's
all right.
pretty,
But when it blows up, I want something for the...
You get a piece of the pie, Alex. You get a piece of the pie.
All right. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. Just a little bit.
Just a sliver. Just a sliver. 2% royalties.
Just a taste, right? That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right. So go ahead.
No silver bullet, to be honest. It's like find what makes you passionate. Find your niche. I always enjoyed highlighting neighborhoods because there's so much misinformation out there. I always said, let's show the positive sides of Philadelphia.
Sure.
So the great bars, the great neighborhoods.
Some of your South Philly videos are awesome.
Thank you.
I saw the FDR Park one that you did.
Thank you.
That was great. The Girard Estates, I think you did, which was really a good spot that you did over there. I mean, you're highlighting it the right way. Your editing is very good.
Shout out my guys. I have Yuli and Eric Carosello. They're incredible.
They're really awesome.
Thank you.
That makes it a huge part of it too. Right?
Agreed. And I think that's another part of social media is making sure it's quality. Be consistent, but if you're posting trash consistently, it's not going to be good.
Right.
If you're posting quality, consistently, you're going to find quality leads who actually, you differentiated yourself and you're willing to put that, money into the editing, put that money like you're doing right now. We have a guy behind the scenes here. Yep. So like I think we don't take it lightly to make quality content for our people. So
you got to put the
thing.
Investment in. I mean, this is to a shout out to my podcast guy who does make me look good, but you have to put the investment into a person like that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't just get up one morning and get your home camera and start having your kid take a video of you and say, let's put this up. And, right? I mean, that's what they do. Some of these people.
That's what they do.
They don't want to make the investment to look professional and do the right thing, and then they wonder why their business looks like trash, like you said.
It's all. I totally agree. So it's really about quality, investing in the right people, and it's also making it fun. Yeah. Like I love making content fun. I'm having a great morning right now with you.
That's awesome.
And we're making content.
Well, that's what it is.
Right.
That's what it's about.
It's all it's about.
People are going to watch it and listen, there's a lot of people that don't know, like how about this? This is a good question. How many leads do you think or how many people actually reach out to you think because of your social media?
Honestly, at this point,
do you track that or
no, I don't track it well enough, and that's something I'm working on with my coach, and we're really trying to get that nailed down where I'm measuring and monitoring so I can maximize.
Yeah.
So basically, I would say, you know what, like there was this one video I talked about McGillen's and how I met my girlfriend. It got almost 500,000 views.
There you go.
And I'm telling you, like
it wasn't even real estate related.
250 people reached out, commented, and DM'd me.
That's sick.
It was sick. It was sick.
How come I can't get that?
You can, Alex.
Where is the views
you
at?
got the Rocky.
I'm checking my phone. It's not even lighting up at all right now. Nothing.
I have to leave my phone over there just because. No, I'm kidding.
Because you're blowing up, right? I know. I don't want to talk about your phone. We're talking about my phone.
You're going to get there, brother.
I hope so.
Honestly,
it's ridiculous.
The biggest piece of advice I can give anyone is collaborating with other businesses. So I collaborated with McGillen's on the video, and they have a huge outreach, So
that was big.
It's huge. So collaborating, tagging somebody that you shout out in one of these videos. So that was on a podcast, and I just had someone clip up some B-roll for me on Fiverr, $25 a video to clip it. And, at the end of the day, it was a simple investment that I made, and
that's awesome.
Paid back tenfold. And one of my affirmations is what I give, I will receive tenfold. That's all it is. I gave a shout out and it came right back. I just genuinely wanted to shout out McGillen's because I met my lover there. I love her to death, and I don't know really where I'd be without her. So genuine shout out leads to a genuine shout out back, and 250. That was just one video, and then the Packer Park video.
You probably broke a lot of hearts just saying that right now that you love her and you're.
Sorry, ladies.
We're not gonna go there. That's a different episode. That'll be part 2 or something.
Part 2. Part 2. Stay tuned.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up, but I want to touch on something real quick on my end. This week, I had posted something on social media about trigger leads. I don't know if you know what a trigger lead is. It's when we run credit for someone, and the minute that we run their credit, they're called by 15,000 other mortgage companies. They're blowing their phone up saying, "Hi, I heard you got your credit ran, and we're such and such company, and we want to pitch you to go with us." Okay, That is a huge problem right now. And I know realtors, you guys even probably get feedback from a lot of the clients saying, you sent me to Alex. Alex ran my credit. He gave me the pre-approval, but here I am. My phone has been exploding for 2 days now with people that are offering me. Some of them are even acting like they work for Alex, which is really bad.
That's weird.
Yes.
I didn't know
and
that.
And they're from other states, and the people are getting confused thinking that they work for our company.
Wow.
And then they wind up giving information to this other mortgage company, and then the other mortgage company cuts my throat and gives them a better rate and steals the client.
Oh my God. And that's terrible. That almost reminds me of the title business though, where people are wiring money to the wrong email.
Right. They don't know who they're dealing with. Right. So, and I put it on social media, and I got trashed by a number of loan officers who that's what they do for a living. Okay. Wow. So they sell the information to credit bureaus. They don't sell your personal information, but they just sell your information to say that you had your credit ran. They get paid for that. Right. And they felt that, that I was being, whining and saying that, if I lost a client, that's my fault. I should have sold them harder to stay with me, and all this stuff. So things are out of control. Okay, guys, that's personal. You're a client looking to buy a house. You refer them to me. Yeah. They blow that person's phone up. They're going to come back to you too and say, well, why did you send me to this guy Alex? He sold me to 15 other companies. It makes you look bad. It makes me look bad. It makes the industry look like a bunch of used car salesmen that are just selling each other's information. And this is why the real estate industry still gets a bad name to this day on a lot of those practices that are going on that shouldn't be going on.
Yeah. That's why I think, to your point, man, it's a relationship business, and that's why it'll never go away. Like us agents and good mortgage loan officers, you need to have a good relationship and have trust with somebody. Yeah. Because if you just go online for a mortgage and go online for an agent, you're going to screw yourself, truly. Because it might not happen. It might happen. Why take a chance? Work with people who are actually going to be able to tell you what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of information is being sold for pennies on the dollar. Like, it's way more valuable too than people are selling it for. But point being, that's why I'll never, ever see agents go out of the business and Zillow take over, because we need people. Yeah. People we trust. So look at reviews, study your people, interview multiple agents, and you'll hear it in their voice and their tonality and their certainty and their passion immediately who you're going to trust, and immediately who's like, you know what I mean?
These clients are going to be going right to the listing agents directly now with this new thing and cutting out just right?
Because they're going to think it's a better deal. But the smart people,
that listing agent could be really bad.
And well, think about it. The listing agent, or let's just call it what they are. The seller's agent, who do they represent?
They represent the seller. You think they care about you?
They don't care about you. They are going to try to net as much as they can for their seller. And guess what? If they don't, they're breaking a contract, and they could be sued by their seller.
Right. So who do they have best interest in? The seller.
The seller. They literally signed an agreement with that seller stating that. So,
and this is a guy that does it every day.
Yeah. To think correct. And I do think people are going to do it. And you know what? Hey, this is where I'm at. That's why I say I don't focus on anything but my people. Like, I'm not going to try to make you see the value in a buyer's agent if you don't. Because if you can't understand that simple concept alone, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'd love to, but it's, something I'm not willing to compromise on, and I'm not willing to lower my commission because at the end of the day, I'm going to earn that commission. I'm going to negotiate the best value for you and probably keep more in your pocket or get your monthly payments.
What are you going
to
do? You're going to give out a buyer's agent to go to if that person comes to you directly and you're the listing agent, or how does that work?
What I think I'm going to do, and this is something that I'm just touching on now because it's coming up. July is when the changes are in full effect. Yeah. I think I'm going to make it more of an a la carte service. So if you're looking just for a door opener and you don't want me to handle the contracts, you don't want me to handle the reply to inspection, if there's an appraisal gap, if you don't want me to negotiate that for you, that's fine. Pay me a flat fee of $1,000. I'll open a door for you. But if you want my full services, it's probably going to be somewhere from $5,000 to $10,000 flat fee. And because at the end of the day, it's the same. This is actually going to be more scalable, I think, for me. Because instead of like a percentage, right, where it's like I'm attached to the home's value, now I can start doing $150,000 homes, $200,000 homes, and making the same rips.
Sure.
I don't have to sell a $600,000 home to make my $10,000 to $15,000. Right. I'll say it's a $10,000 to $15,000 flat fee, depending on how much time we spend. If it's a 4-month search, whatever, we'll tack that on. It's going to be more like an attorney, right? We're like, yo, I'm an attorney. What do you need? You want me to do a feasibility report? $600. Here you go. Yeah.
I can just be nicer than the attorney.
Yeah.
Right, because I can't say.
Sorry, guys.
Don't get me started on attorneys.
You guys suck, man. No, I'm kidding.
don't get me started on attorneys, right? But that's fine. Don't be like be like them, but don't be like them.
Correct.
Right.
Set yourself up like that, because I think now you can service so many more people, because maybe some people don't need you to negotiate for them. They just want to get into the house. All right, great. It's only going to take me 1 hour to do that, and I can make $500 opening this door. Done. Now I'm guaranteeing my money. I'm not going out and hoping for 2.5%. If I close a deal, I'm getting an a la carte service where you want my full services. It's a flat fee of X. Or if you don't have it, I'll negotiate it, 2-3% of the sale price. And it's all negotiable once again. And knowing your value, knowing what that client needs, setting the expectation. And a lot of people can't set the expectation because they don't even know what to expect. So that's why I have a powerhouse team behind me that gives me the knowledge, because they've been through it. If I haven't been through it, they have. So we've experienced everything, almost everything. There's always going to be something new in real estate, we all know, but we know how to advise our clients on what to expect, which not a lot of people know how to.
I mean, is this guy not polished or what? Like, it's just sitting here. I mean, this guy is like
it's the runs in the morning, man. It's the runs in the morning. It gets me
like,
going.
It's like, you could listen to this all day here, because it's the truth on what's going on in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really why I brought him on, because he's down to earth, and he knows what the plan is, right, going forward. He knows how he got here, which is good. You didn't forget where you came from,
Thank you.
which helps. Right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people blow up. All the people that made a lot of money in 2020, 2021, like you say, now their heads got this big, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they all came back to reality.
Yeah.
Right. And now they're not making anywhere near the money they make. Yeah. And they have to work now. And, it really set in where you stayed level headed, right? I'm sure you had some good times there in 21 and 20. You were in 22. You started 21.
21.
Yeah, so you were in the heat of it, kind of.
I was. And that was why
I mean, you felt it there.
Correct. That's why I really got into this. Man, I'm happy I got into that market so I can see both sides. If we talked about a loan officer in your office who's only been in for 2, 3, or 6 months.
It's 6 months.
And it's been
Anthony,
tough.
which I had him on the show a few weeks ago.
The weekend warrior.
Weekend warrior. He works every weekend. He makes sure his social media is up to game. He's working on Saturdays and Sundays. Right. It's tough to bring somebody in the market who's brand new in this market. But if he can make it through this market, which he will, he's going to see it's going to get a lot easier. When it does get easier, then he's going to appreciate where he came from.
Definitely. Absolutely.
So, well, man, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We probably could go on all day here. Like I said, I feel like there's only one other person that gave this type of energy that we had on. We've had a lot of people on too, not to put everybody else down. All right. I like you guys.
We love you, Jim. We love you.
We love everybody else, Mark.
Jordan.
All right, Jordan. We love you guys. All right. You brought energy too, but there's certain people that I think are fire. And that's what the industry needs right now. People that truly live and breathe this stuff too when they need to. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this platform. I appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. And I think we got to do maybe like a group podcast one. We'll bring all the old Jim Roach team back, who we had on, including Jim, and we see where they are then. Shoot
me a date. I will do that. That would be.
Although Jim's going to steal the show, of course.
Oh yeah,
he's
the
he
king.
He may not let you guys talk.
He may not.
I don't know.
He might ask us our opinions on a few things, but I let him take the reins. He's running the team meetings. He's teaching me everything. So you talk, Jim.
He's awesome.
If you just want to, reference me, I'm here.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I'd love to do that though. Let's definitely get something on the books. And seriously, genuinely appreciate this. It's a great time. Just opening things up and, like you said, delivering truth, because there's a lot of misinformation out there.
There's a ton of it, and. So tune in. The show will be Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. It airs. Obviously, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you guys watch or listen to. And of course, you're gonna really like this one. If you didn't listen, from start to finish, you need to listen to start to finish. You'll pick up some nuggets here that I'm sure you didn't know. So we'll see you next week, and thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, man.